You know, Monday, part of it is trying to remember what exactly we already have booked for the show, because we usually have an element or two booked for Almanac on Monday. Not always, but
and that
sometimes
shows on the board
and
over
this
here.
week, we did. The incoming head of the Minnesota Historical Society, we booked a month or two ago when he first was named, but wasn't yet in town. So that is one of those things we had on the calendar. So,
Kathy, I liked her hairdo tonight. I think it's the best I've seen on her for years.
Looking at
Tuesday, I'm listening to viewer calls. I'm kind of spend a bunch of time tracking down these strange little historical facts. This week's index file question, for example.
Well, it's Thursday afternoon. What do we know about tomorrow's show?
Well, not a lot more than we knew yesterday, although we put out another call this morning. The Vikings story is certainly lurking out there, and I heard this morning that Ziggy Wilf is supposed to be in town tomorrow. So we got to call out to the Vikings to see if he might be willing to come on the show. A few more stories on the board. I don't know how many more guests we have than yesterday, although I think King Banyan is new from yesterday, Mark Goodwin. So we're getting closer to the first termers panel, which is good because I've been counting on it all week.
Well, it's just a few minutes before noon. It's Friday. Things are still pretty quiet in the studio. I'll be starting my edit shift in just a few minutes, and things will start picking up the pace. We're doing a package about amendments to the Minnesota Constitution. Here's the script. Started working on it yesterday evening. It's 5 minutes to noon, so it has to be ready by 7 o'clock. How are we doing?
With Governor Dayton. It's been a fun day.
Is it?
Yeah, it's been kind of a little wild. We started the day several guests short, and then we started going in the wrong direction, which you never want to do on a Friday morning. So
You mean some guests dumped out?
So I came in this morning thinking, okay, we need to book 4 guests, and then it became 5 because one of our first-term lawmakers decided not to kind of, I guess, come. And then Keith Ellison, Congressman Ellison, we didn't know if we had him this morning. We were hoping so. We had good indications yesterday, and then we heard this morning he's in, so that helped.
Good. And who else is on the team today?
Bobby Edwards is on the team calling. He's about 40 feet down the hall. I think he likes it that way.
Hey, Bobby, what you got going today for Almanac?
Well, we just confirmed our guest. It's 12:20, which is actually pretty early for Friday. Now I'm just going through on Easy News and making sure that we have our bumpers in between each show, in between each segment, and then putting in lower thirds for each of the guests.
So you've confirmed the guest for the show. Does Brendan know this yet? Because I just spoke to him.
I sent him an email, so
Okay.
he probably hadn't read it yet.
Okay, cool. It's 1 o'clock. Let's go see if Vern is in and starting to get ready for Almanac. Hey, Vern.
Hey, Jerry.
You ready for Almanac?
Yeah.
What's up?
I'm cutting calls.
Farmer's Almanac. The answer to this week's
Next
question
call.
is the Minneapolis paper, The Star.
The Minnesota Pioneer was published on that date.
There you go.
Cool. What else you got going on tonight? Live music, I hear?
Live music. Let me look. Live music, and then I've got to download some music that Ragsdale requested. So come back in a minute, and I'll show you the live music part when I get to it.
What's going on? It's about 2 o'clock. So
Yeah, it's 2 o'clock, and I just got handed a list of credits, so I get to know who's on the show
Shown here.
tonight. And I type all that stuff in, so whenever you read those at the end of the show, which I'm sure everybody does, you'll know who actually worked on the show. And then I type in all the words for the show, any people's names and any bumpers, we call them, where anything that isn't real video actually goes through a graphic artist like myself and goes on the air. And I work for, most of my work actually happens, I would say, for the first 5 hours of my shift. And it's actually kind of, if I've done my job right, pretty calm during the show itself because all my work is done and I just have to be perfect for the next hour after it goes on the air.
Yeah, I'm just patching up the mics for the band. They usually get here about 4:30. I'm just trying to get ahead of the game before the A2 arrives.
Emily, you're the intern for Almanac.
I
So
am.
what are intern duties?
Well, I come in twice a week, and the first day I'm here, I usually answer all the voicemails. There's some ranging from like 20 to maybe 100 sometimes if the index file question is popular, or even if there's something controversial or really great on the show, then we'll get a lot of viewer comments. And then I take some of those and type them up and sort of transcribe them, and then that's what goes on the show on Fridays for the index file question. Then other than that, I do research for the Almanac index file question, and then on Fridays sort of the odds and ends, getting copies and scripts out to people and meeting with the hosts and then greeting the guests. So that's what I do around here.
Okay, cool. Well, it's about 2:30 Friday. So
It is.
what are you going to do for Almanac today?
Well, today I basically make sure that you know what you get, what you needed down in edit, and I think you already have that. And then maybe later when you're done, I can come down and check on the packages that you've done, and from there we go on to the show, which is, you know, rehearsal starts at 6:15. So yeah, and then after I check the tape packages for what it's, you know, scripted, I assist the show director in ADing the show for this hour-long show. Then after the show, I segment the show so that we can put it on the web so people can see it.
Okay, it's 4:30. The band's setting up.
Talking about the New York art world. Just for the hey-ho up there.
Whole crew's in the
I got
studio.
an extra mic line. What kind of I got an extra mic line for you.
Okay, Jeff, our
Jerry.
director, is in the studio now. So what are your duties on Almanac days?
Oh, wow. Well, we start out by making sure that the tapes are all in a proper list, and make a list and bring that around to everybody, whoever's going to need that. We make a whole bunch of copies. And then I have to proof all the graphics with our graphics operator, Laura, down here in the control room. And on a day like today, now we've got music, live music, so now we're setting them up. All kind of jumbles together, and in the meantime, I also mark the script and figure out, you know, what all the shots are going to be and stuff like that when that gets delivered to me.
As we get ready for music.
So it's a kind of a
There's
big
much
deal.
panic. There's much pandemonium.
It's kind of
Can't
a big
you
deal.
see?
Yes.
Yes, it is a big deal. It's fun. Live TV is fun. Do it once. That's what I said.
Here, Tom.
Yeah, just
All
a
right.
moment.
Okay, the other side. The floor time's up.
The floor's on now. You want to keep going, Vern?
Just the bass drum.
I start my shift at 4:30, and I get a script written by the producer, but I put it into a format so that it's easily readable by the talent.
On a thing called a teleprompter?
On a thing called a teleprompter.
Had to do with something important that happened in these parts this time of year, back in the year 1900. The exact date was May 1st, 1900. We told you something was published for the first time on that date.
Okay, it's 6:20. I'm exporting the last piece. You can see the timeline there. The last piece for the show. Then I'm going to go check in on rehearsal next door.
We just had a guest call us 10 minutes ago saying, are you going to cancel tonight because the other person wasn't available? We said, no, we're really counting on you. Show up, please. So hopefully all the guests will show up.
If I had my way, we wouldn't be doing any constitutional amendments right now.
Stand by to bring lights up for yourself too, ready to keep Eric. And lights up. Self two, I think.
My responsibilities are to shade the cameras, make sure they look good, and the color is good. And I'm supposed to also roll the clips and tapes that we use during the program.
Ready to lose Chiron, ready to bring lights up for yourself one with his name.
The way they talk about
Say that again.
Hey, Brian, what are you doing back here?
I'm in charge of rolling tapes, making sure that the program gets recorded. Gets recorded on DV cam, DVDs.
And you have something to do with the captioning?
The captioner calls in, and then before the show they call in. We'll make sure that we're getting, that she's able to talk or they're able to talk and provide captioning.
10 seconds. Quiet, please. And 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Congressman Keith Ellison on Osama bin Laden. First-term lawmakers weigh in on the legislative session. We'll have a stadium update. Almanac, she's next. Okay. Hi, Congressman.
Hey.
1 minute.
It's showtime.
Howdy, sir. Can we bring you this way? Over here. Go ahead and get a mic on you there. Thank you.
And 10 to show.
Ready, Black.
9,
Stand by to roll 81.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Black.
3, 2,
Roll
1,
81 and up on it.
And a left
Almanac is a
7,
production of Twin Cities Public
5,
Television
4,
for the stations of
3,
Minnesota Public
Dolly.
Television Association.
Dissolve 2 and kill.